everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to do a colour along in this Wildflower photo beat by Christine Karron. I'll just show you the front cover in case you're not familiar with it. So this one, and I started this page and someone requested that I do a colour along on this wolf. So I've quickly got a reference picture online and then I've tested out some colours down the side of what I might use. So we'll get straight into it and we'll try and make this not more than an hour long video so that we can get it up on the channel for you. So I'm going to zoom you right in onto his little face to start with, because we're going to start with his eyes and nose. So I've picked out a lovely shade of blue which I think will look nice for the eyes and nose, and then some browns and things as well. I'm going to pop my reference to the side of me just so I can keep my eye on it. We're going to go straight in with the eyes first with this Skyblue 146, and I'm just going to go around all the eye area. Really lovely shade. And then I'm going to get my black. Where's that pencil rolled off to? Don't be doing this to me. Oh, it's here. Black 199. And I'm going to go into the centre of the eye, so doing that pupil around there. And then I'm going to go around the outsides of the eye as well. Do we need to come in a bit more? I'm going to go around the outsides of the eye as well, so all this is black. So all around there. If I do have to dash off, I've got a few deliveries due today, so if the doorbell goes I will have to run to the door, but I will pause you while I'm filming. Let's do this eye. You just want to get the basics in for now. You don't want to go in too much detail around the eye until we've done all the fur. But I am just getting the basics of the eye in here. Let's get that bit in. And then we can deepen up all the blue bits if we want to deepen them up a bit. All this would be black as well, but like I said, I don't want to go in too harshly yet because I don't know, let's just outline it. And this bit here as well, it comes down onto here, that little black part, and then you can see it sticking out here as well at the sides. There we go. And there we go. So I'm gonna sharpen my blue and I'm gonna go in with a bit of a harder pressure on the blue of the eye. I'm going to use a grey as well, a bit of grey. So I'm going to, I'll get the grey actually, warm grey 274. It's not focusing today. Focus, because I'm zoomed in. But it's warm grey 274, this one. And I'll link all the pencils in the description as well. But I'm going to go around the outside a bit with this one. A bit at the top. And then we'll go back in with the blue underneath. So Skyblue 146. We'll go in with a hard pressure now underneath. Really get that blue in. Now you can either put your whites of the little highlights in the eyes now, or you can wait till last so that you don't smudge it. So I'm going to wait till last, till I've done everything, and then put the highlights in. Once the highlights are in, those eyes will pop. So I'm going to use this sky blue as well on the nose. So I do like to put blues into blacks, so anything that's sort of black we have blue because it makes for a really nice highlight. So we're going to go over the whole of this little nose with the sky blue to start with, and then we're going to put our darker areas in with the black. So now going in with the black, we're going to pick out the nostrils first because they will be the darkest areas and we do want them to stand out. So we'll go in there with that. Also this line that comes down, we sort of want that to be the darkest as well. Oh, I feel like I need to sneeze. What's going on? Oh dear, and I may as well do that little black part in the mouth as well while I'm here. Let's just get that bit in. So first off, before going in with too much black on the nose, I'm going to go in with the grey first and build it up. So, no, dark sepia, sorry. Dark sepia. Why does this not want to focus today? Dark sepia 175. I'm going to start off going in with this rather than the black. Leaving some of the brighter areas out so we really get that blue still showing through in some areas. And then by using this dark sepia, your nostrils are still going to stand out, because if we went in with the black and went close to this, it would all sort of merge into one. So you'd lose that nostril because you'd be putting in the black around it. It'd just get lost. So we're using the dark sepia. It's still appearing black, but not quite as dark as the nostril, which is what we want. Gonna leave a bit of the blue there. I may even go back in with the blue in a second. Yep, so we'll go back in with that sky blue now. Skyblue 146, and just sort of burnish that part with this blue now. And then you'll get the blue mixing in with the grey and it creates this nice little highlight that's not like, doesn't look blue because you don't want it to look like he's got a full-on blue nose, if you know what I mean. There we go. Now we can get onto all the fur, which is, sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. So I've picked out quite a few different tones of browns and greys and ivories and creams, because if you see here, we've got quite a good mix, and also the dark sepia in there as well. I'm going to start putting some grey into the ears first, I think, because you can see quite a bit of grey up here on the ears. So I'm going to go in with warm grey 274, and following the sort of strokes that's been put in, I'm just going to vaguely start building up. Let me sharpen it. Vaguely start building up on some strokes. So just following where the lines already are, but perhaps making some a bit stick out a bit more in areas, so we can build up all those bits that have got a lot of white space almost. Sometimes it can start looking a bit rough, but it always does at the start. If you want to sort of not take as long with doing the fur, you can put a base of something down first. So I was contemplating putting a base of pan pastel, but I just thought, no, we'll go straight in with the fur. But if you want to put a base down of pan pastel or chalk pastel first, it will make it easier for you to then get all these hair strokes in on top, because you don't have to get rid of the white space then, you've already got rid of it with the pan pastels or pastels. So let's get a bit of this into the other ear. So all we're doing when we're doing fur is following what the line art that's already there. That's why I love grayscale. I prefer the grayscale illustrations to the, you know, the line art. Following it and building it up and just creating layers after layers after layers, and that's how you're going to get a nice fur. basically. So I'm going to add some of this grey all around the dark spots as well, and pull it through to the lighter spots a little bit, just to again start filling up all that space, because it's a good sort of mid-tone colour to do this with. You don't want to do it with your darkest colour, you don't want to do it with your lightest colour. You always want to sort of fill up around here with your mid-tone, or I feel that way. I feel that that works best. And this warm grey is a really lovely shade to do that with. Now, as always, if I was doing this in my own time, I'd have a lot more time to sort of take my time with it and think about it a bit more. But when I am doing a colour along with something like this that takes time and I need to get it done in an hour's long video, I do have to try and speed things up a bit. But you take your time, because you can pause me, you can pause my video and sort of go at your own pace. I can't do that though, unfortunately. I can't do it. So I'm just going to very carefully around the eye, because it's quite light around the eye. It's got some ivories and some sort of little bit of ochres around the eye, but again I do want to fill up some of the white space, so we are just going in very lightly around those areas. Get rid of that. So you can follow the lines and then drag a few rogue ones through to the white space. So we're going to fill it up a little bit more. Are we still in frame? We are. Some little hairs busting off the sides here, off the ends. So the fur is meeting the fur of a cuff on a sleeve here, so don't get that mixed up. I think her sleeves I'm only going to have a little bit of brown ochre around them and cream, brown ochre and cream, that kind of fluffy colour on those, I think, when I get round to it. Just pop a few rogue hairs there very loosely. I'm glad it's just the face of the wolf and no big body. Put it that way. Put it that way. But no, I was already contemplating whether or not to do this on camera, and then someone did ask and I thought, go on then. Let's have a go. Normally I do things like this in my own time, because like I say, I do like to take my time with them normally, and I am a slow colourist when I'm doing it at my own speed. I am oh my gosh, that came out wrong. I am speeding things up a bit for this video, but hopefully all will work out in the end. I'm going to put some snow on his nose as well. My reference picture's got some snow on his nose. It looks really cute, so I'm going to do that right at the end. You can do it with a Posca pen, white gel pen. You can even do it with gouache or acrylic paints to put a bit of snow on his nose and on his fur. Right, I'm going to carefully go around the mouth now. So you'll find the fur around the face a little hair strokes, so you go in with shorter strokes around places like that and long ones on the body, sort of thing. Let's get some of these up here. I think the hardest parts to do are the parts where the furs sort of change in direction. So you see these ones go this way, and then the nose is just sort of, you have to try and gauge the direction of the fur on the nose, and I do think it goes in quite a few directions. Sometimes those parts that can make me mess up. Just going to pop in some on the nose now. And then we can switch to another colour. Add a few more little strokes in. I think I'm going to go like that. If you can map it out. So the first strokes are coming sort of down here. And then you can sort of map out where you want. Very lightly. So I think that would be about, that would be coming down there like that. There's a bit under the nose as well that'd be a bit darker. Let's get that in. It's like a little moustache. There we go. I think that's where I want to be with that grey for now. So we've just mapped out a little bit, got rid of a bit of that white space. And now I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go in with some of that ochre now. Some cream and some ivories, and then a bit of brown ochre in these ones. So let me just go in first with a cream, I think. So get your cream 102. And we're going to pick out the lighter areas. So on my reference, we have got some bits of cream at the top. So again, doing your hair strokes, very lightly getting those colours in, and it will look quite stark at first, but we're going to put the brown ochre over the top of this cream, which will dull it down and make it that nice colour that I see on my reference picture. Just be sure not to go in too hard on the cream, just sort of map out where these colours would be. So again, we've got a bit going on around the top of the eye here. So we'll just almost put a little really light layer, really light coverage there, and then somewhere around here where that fur's meeting the other bit of the fur. I'm really good at describing things, aren't I? Not. But sort of stop there. Then we have a bit around the mouth. Pull a bit out for the sides. We can pull it down there. Oh, I'm quite liking this. It's very therapeutic doing hair strokes. I always say it. It's therapeutic. Now it's quite dark here as you come down here, so I will pop that in a bit darker at the end. But let's just get some colouring over here as well. And over here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And a bit on this ear. So I've not done any on this ear. There we go. Oh, he's looking cute. Any on the nose? Yeah, let's get some of this colouring on the nose. So very light pressure. I'm doing a covering all over the nose. This bit will be darker, just above the nose, but down here it's quite light. And it has some more greys running through there as well, which we'll sort out at the end. We'll sort out all the fine details at the end. I'm just putting a light coverage. Small circular motions, very light, like you're barely touching the page here, and I'm just getting a bit of that colour over everything. And again down here, down at the bottom, very light coverage. You're almost sort of getting rid of that white space with this pencil, I think, at the bottom. It's going to be quite dark there. There we go. Next up, we're going to find the areas that are quite yellowy brown, which is a big section down here. Not been in frame, have I? Brilliant. Let's zoom me out a little bit. Maybe that's a bit better. Oh God, I do apologise. Right, but on here you can see where the nose area is darker, under the chin is darker, and then these bits are your whitest bits here around the cheeks. So I'm going to put these bits in, but because this is quite a yellowy kind of pencil, I'm going to put this down first, and then I'm going to put this down first, which is Dark Naples Ochre 184, if it wants to focus at any point today. And then I'm going to put this over the top. This is Brown Ochre 182. So going in with the dark Naples ochre first, under the chin, and we're going to get some of those hair strokes in. So like I say, it will go down quite yellowy at first, don't worry, we're going to put the brown ochre over the top and it'll create this really nice colour that we want. But we do need to get this in first for that sort of yellowy tone to get it in there. So right under the chin, and we pull it all the way down, and we do have it down here a little bit, but sort of getting a bit lighter down here. So it's more punchy at the top, just under the chin. And then we'll do the same on the nose area. Remember, around the details like the nose and eyes, smaller strokes, longer strokes where the longer strokes are. I'll sort of go up to about there. And then on this side, because the middle is sort of a dark sepia, I want to say. Let's get a bit of this darkness on that little cheek area there. It's a little bit there. Is it just looking, it's a bit darker at the top here as well, so I'm going to pop a bit more darkness there. And on the edge of the ear. If you just want to grab your colours and put them anywhere, that is fine. You don't have to place them in the exact places I'm putting mine. Just get the list of coloured pencils and go for it. Go for it. Pop a bit of colour there. And then we can go in with a brown ochre to get rid of that really stark yellow. So I'm going to give this a little sharpen. Brown ochre 182 we're going to go in with next. Get your pencils ready, guys. And we're going to go over the top of that really punchy Naples, dark Naples ochre. And you'll see that sort of puts that brown tone in, takes away from that really punchy yellow. Let's get the ear. The more and more colours you put down, the more we're building up and building up on this fur, and that's what will give you a realistic outcome, is the build up of layers. Oh, he's looking cute. I can't wait to get those white highlights in though. It's literally the highlight of my day, is putting the highlights in at the end on those little eyes and the nose. I love it. Literally love it. I'm gonna pop a bit of this brown around the nose as well, just so it's got a bit more of something around it for when we get that dark sepia in. So if you want to randomly put a bit of this brown ochre everywhere, you can do. We'll just add a touch of something else to it. Let's just get some over that bit of yellow that we missed. So we've just got this bit of yellow on the side of the nose, and then we've got all under the chin with this colour. There we go. Get you in frame. Get you in frame. Emergency vehicle going past my house. If you want to take your earphones out, take them out now. I do like to warn people so you don't go, ah, my ears. I hear them coming a mile off now. Emergency vehicles on this main road. See, that's dulling down that yellow, and then we'll get all our greys and dark sepias into this as well, and it'll be beautiful. And our ochres. I'm just trying to be careful here and distinguish what is fur from the cuff of the sleeve and what is fur from the wolf. And I think the cuff of the sleeve is coming down here, so this would be the end of the wolf's fur sort of here. So I'm just going to map that out with this colour so we don't end up going over that cuff. Map this out, get some brown tones in there, why not? It's a lovely colour, isn't it? Let's go back down to the area where we're supposed to be working in Kirsta. Does anybody else get sidetracked like that when you're colouring? You'll be doing one area and then you'll be like, oh, brain's gone over here all of a sudden. Why has brain gone up there when we was doing down here? No idea. There we go though. Now we're going to go in with our dark sepia. So we're going to start getting very dark up in here now. I would if I could find it though. It's rolled off the table, has it? Is this it? Dark sepia. Dark sepia 175. So I'm going to look at this reference. I'm going to pick out all the darkest areas around the ears, around the top of the head, down the centre of the nose, the eyebrows, the edges of the face, a bit down here. I'm going to pick out all the dark areas now. So you do need to be careful with these lines, because what you make with these lines will stick, because you're using a bold dark colour. So make sure that where you're putting your lines, you want them to be there. All around the edges with this, I found. Initially I made the outline, and now I'm just bringing in random hair strokes a bit towards the centre, making it a bit darker up there. We can always fill the extra white space out with dark browns as well. So initially we'll put the dark sepia down, then we can get something like a walnut brown and go back into all the gaps, and that will add another tone to it, but also fill up that white space a bit better. You see it building a bit better now, building up the colours. There we go. I'm going to turn you around a little bit. I'm try and get a few little hair strokes sticking out this way off the ears. If I go quiet, this is my concentrating guys, so there we go. Let's do the other ear just so we don't forget about it. Bits that you want extra dark, you can go in right at the end with a black. So if you wanted to deepen up the top of the ear, you can go in with a black right at the end once you've finished up with all your colours. You might not need to after you put all your colours down, but if you do feel like I need to go in with a black here, then just by all means grab your black and go for it. But I like to try and build up using colours that aren't black first, because I feel like it gives it more depth than going in with black straight away. Same when I did the hair, I put a lot of blue and grey under here. It gives it the sort of the shine that you want. I'm going to sharpen this because I want a sharper edge. Bit of a sharper edge. There we go. Let's get a bit of fluffiness going on up here. So I'm following this fur line here with this colour. And just dragging it up in the directions that it's going in. And down as well. Does anybody else colour fair like this and follow every hair stroke, or do you just prefer to do like a bit of a block colour over it all? Or you can even paint things like this. You can get your acrylic paints and your gouache and you can even paint fur strokes in. That's quite fun to do as well, if anyone's brave enough. Let's smooth this bottom bit out a little bit. So I've got to there. I'm going to come in around here with the darkness now. So actually, is it above here as well? Yeah, it's a little bit above here, but a bit lighter. So I'll go in here, but not as hard pressure as I did do here. So we'll just sort of join this on carefully to the bits that I'm going to do in a minute. So these bits are going to be darker. Pull a bit of that hair stroke in the middle there. And then if you use a very light pressure, you can pull these little hair strokes into the white space. This is what it's all about, is slowly, gradually filling up the white space. And we don't have to do it by going in with hard pressure on bold pencils. You can just very loosely, bit by bit, drag colours through that area. Now this bit is going to be dark, so this bit here, from about here, I do want it to be dark, so I'm going to go in with a harder pressure now and really try and get those hair strokes in. down here, and then we soften the edges. So you can go back in and just really soften those edges. I'm going to turn you around this way. I've got a better angle for my flicking. For my flicking motion. You'll have to excuse me. I'm going to go all the way down with this dark sepia. So following this line here. So it's going down a bit more now. Get your initial colour blocking of that, and then you can neaten up the edges when you come back round. So go back in. I think this is the point where it starts to take shape a bit more, when you start getting your darker colours in, and then it is filling up more of that space. Softening up the edges. We don't always have to go in with a harsh line. We can go soft. Go soft where you need to go soft, and then we can add defined lines where you want to add the defined lines. Not going to bother too much about around the edges, because when I go to colouring the fur we can neaten all that up anyway, so I'm not going to be too particular about the edges there. I don't think. We can sort that out at a later date. I'm just going to fluff up some of these edges a bit. Let's add some of that in around there, quite softly actually. Quite soft little lines. There we go. Then I'm going to come on to the bit under the eye, so just this bit here. Remembering that sometimes under the eye the lines can be a little bit shorter. Obviously we've got some long ones as well, but some of them are a bit shorter than the rest. Got a long one there. Got a long roger. So just mapping out where I want to be first, and then I'm going to neaten up the edges like I did on the other part. And round here as well. So really being careful around the eye. Don't want to make much mistake around the eye, because that's the focal point. You're looking at the features on the face, so you don't want to mess those up. So this is the kind of eyebrow area that's a bit darker as well. So we're following this sort of little lines that's been created with this dark sepia. I want the lines to be defined but soft at the same time, so I'm just trying to be softer with the edges in places. A bit like that. I think that's quite nice. And then come back down to this bit that we was doing. I'm all over the shop answer with my colouring. That's what it's like with fur though. Something will catch my eye in another area on the thing and I go straight to it. I'm like, oh, homing in on that part. Right, we're going to neaten up these edges now. So we're going to soften up pull a few of those little lines down, I think, from the eye, very softly. And there we go. I'm going to add a little bit into the edge of the nose as well, just here. See, I'm doing the little hair strokes here in the nose. And then we're going to move on to the nose now. So we want it quite dark up here. So we can be quite bold. Around there. And then as we come towards the eye, we want to soften the edges around this side. So light pressure this time. There we go. This time coming up from the nose, I'm trying to think where the directions are going. Little strokes on the nose, gonna come down here I think in a sort of downward direction. This is the bit I struggle with, things where, you know, they're changing direction quite a lot. Like I think they're going this way on the nose, but then my reference picture shows them a different way and I'm like, hey, which one do I look at? Which one do I look at? I think as well with something like this with fur, it's nice to, obviously I can't because I'm filming, but it's nice to go off and have a little break, grab yourself a brew sort of halfway through and then come back to it and reassess and look at it again, because you can see when you go away from something and then come back to it, you can see a lot more. Where you think, oh, let's just put a bit of darkness there or a bit more of this colour there. You can make a better judgment when you've had a bit of a break from your page, I think. In my opinion anyway. That's just my opinion from when I've been colouring. Things I've noticed myself. I'm going to really soften this bit up here. Right, we need to go over this eyebrow as well now, but like this one, quite soft. Get your initial dark line in, and then the edges we want quite soft. Like that. And again, these bits over the eye we want quite soft. Just going to really delicately put some little lines in there, and then same under the eye, we want it quite delicate lines coming from the eye again, so little by little strokes as well under the eye, little soft strokes. And then this line here we're going to have darker, so we can afford to go in a bit darker like we have on this side. We can go in a bit darker. I'll just have to run to my door. There we go. Gosh, I need a drink after running up and down the stairs so quickly. Yeah, so I'm going to do this bit dark. So I'm just going to gently first bring these strokes into that direction where they will be going. Gosh, I'm so unfit. Does anybody else run up and down the stairs and then they're like dying? Is that just me? That's a sign. I am so unfit. So I think they would be going in that direction. Again, I'm going to initially lay this line across quite roughly, and then I'm going to soften the edges. So let's just see where we're going. Think about there. And then we'll soften the edges as we come towards the eye. We don't want them to be too harsh, we want them to be quite soft and fluffy looking. You can bring little lines through. And soften the other side as well. If you want to darken it up at the same time, you can deepen it up even more, that's up to you. There we go. That's about it for that bit, I think. And then I'm going to deepen up this line under, sort of coming here underneath and then under there a little bit, and then down here. So let's find those lines. About there, I think. This line follows the line underneath the mouth as well. This one is teeny tiny hairs under here, under the chinny chin chin. Gosh, I'm not looking forward to getting hairs on my chin. Ugh. It's bad enough I get a few on my tash, and I'm only 37. Well, I say only. My partner's turning 40 on the 27th of December. It's shocking. I can remember meeting him at like 17, 18-year-old, and now we're both on the verge of being 40, and it's like, where did that time even go? You know, when you're a kid and your parents set you, or your grandparents set you, oh, your life will flash before your eyes before you know it, and you don't believe them. You don't believe them, and they're like but it's same, I'll say it to my kids and my kids won't believe me. You have to go through it, don't you? You have to go through life to believe it and understand, and then you think, oh yeah, everything they said was true. Everything they said was true. Oh well. There we go. I'm gonna pull up a little bit of softness, very softly. Pull some of the colour up as well, so we've not got this harsh divide. And round the edge there. If I missed a bit out here, I feel like I have. Just going to go in around that edge there. It's quite in the shadows, so there's a chance we might have missed parts there. Let's try and join the fluff onto there a little bit better. Go, really deepen up that part there. Then I'm going to come on to the bottom bit. So this bit here is going to be a bit darker. So initially get your rough guideline in. There's another emergency vehicle going past, guys. noisy, aren't they? Get your rough guide in and then you can build on it and soften your edges. So we're just mapping out where we want that line to be. I want it to be quite dark here in this area, so I'm really pressing on there and pulling the colour through. I want it to be quite dark. And then you can soften your lines that are going up into this area. Even pull some of those longer ones through a bit more. Through to that yellow. And up from the bottom as well. So what we don't want is this big white strip near a hand. We've just sort of pulled the strokes down, but then you've got this, you want to fill that in. So if you bring the strokes up from the hand very lightly, you'll fill in that bit of space so it won't look a bit odd. Let's deepen up all along this line, and we can sort out this bottom bit that we've totally missed down here. I think normally something like this would take me around 2 hours to do, probably. I'm thinking so. But I have gone extra speedy for the video, obviously to try and get it done in one video. Right, let's deepen this up even more. Pull it up. Might have to sharpen my pencil a little bit. Right, let's sharpen it. Let's get some more of a sharpness to this pencil, so we can get some really nice definition when we do the flicking up here now and down here. I'm going to pull this colour right down under these fingers as well. This fur's all here, you can see. I'm going to add in some browns around here, I think, as well. So we're going to initially pop that black down very roughly, rough lines. Then I'm going to add some browns into this bit at the bottom. So let me get my walnut brown. Walnut brown 177. I'm going to add some brown into that bit. Let's fill up some of this white space. But we don't want to only do it with the dark sepia, because if you do it just with the dark sepia, you're not going to have any definition to this fur. It's just going to be all like a block colour of black almost at the bottom, which I don't want. I do want some depth to this fur. Even bring some of the walnut brown up into the yellows. That'll be quite nice to have some of that coming through. That's really lovely. Right, let's get it down here. From that finger, fill up all that white space that's around the finger If you do go over the finger a little bit with any of these colours, I don't really think you're going to notice it much when you actually hold your illustration back and look at it. Don't think you're really going to notice much. Don't panic. There we go. I'm going to add a bit of this walnut brown everywhere else we've been at the top as well, and then we're going to go in with the ivory. So let me sharpen this. It is a bit blunt, even though it looks sharp, but it's still got that bluntness to it. So this is the walnut. We're going to go over where we've just been with the dark sepia, more or less. And we're going to fill up some more of that space. We're going to really bring you to life now, Mr. Wolfie. Why am I talking to a wolf? It's not even a real wolf. It's a pretend drawing. Cracking up. I've spent too long doing fur. I'm cracking up. See, take a break. Take a break, guys. Do half of it and then go and get a brew. Else you will crack up. But this is going to add a really nice warmth to it, this colour, I think. So we're filling up a bit more of that tooth before going in finally with the ivory, because the ivory will fill everything out where we want it lighter. Like all around the eyebrows will be ivory, around the mouth. So we're very loosely putting those sort of stroke motions into this and filling it all up a bit. I do want a bit more around here. Stick some of this out the edges. Really nice. And then pull some towards the centre. All this is going to be your ivory around here. We do just want to pull some of this walnut up. It'll really make it blend nicely with the ivory as well. And you see how much you have to build up and build up your layers over something like this. I mean, it's worth it in the end. I feel like it's quite tricky to film something like this. I don't know how easy it'll be to, you know, follow along with. I hope it's been easy. I'm going to put the pencil names in the description of the video, so you'll have to let me know if anybody's followed along with this. I hope you give it a go. I hope you give it a go. Right, let's just pull out some of that fur around there. Doesn't matter if we go over that cuff a little bit. It's fine. Let's pull out a bit over that colour there as well. Obviously a lot of this is going to be ivory as well. I'm just going to go under the little mouth here a little bit with the walnut brown. And up from the bottom as well. Is there someone else at my door? There might be someone else knocking on my door, guys. because it's a big truck. I've not heard the doorbell go. Oh, there we go. Another parcel. So still with the walnut brown, guys. Another parcel. That's Christmas coming up. 5 kids in the house. That's all I ever have now. Deliveries to my door. Deliveries after deliveries. So I'm gently popping this walnut brown just under the mouth. And I'm out of breath again because, you know, running up and down the stairs. I film in my bedroom. It's like a little corner of my bedroom. The only place I can fit a desk. So when the door goes and I'm filming, I have to run down. Run down. Let's just pop a bit of that colour around there. And then we're going to blend all this into the ivory. So we're just making way for the final steps. And hopefully this video will upload and export and all that jazz, because it is quite a long one. Might have to offload some of my apps on my phone for the storage. Oh dearie me, what am I like? Let's get some of this walnut brown just around here and going into the eye here. And then we can get that nice ivory colouring. Have we been everywhere with this walnut? Everywhere I want to be, I think. That's enough on the nose because it's quite white around there. Let's just pop a bit more down here. Fill this space up a bit more down here. If you take a step back and have a little look, you'll be able to see where you think, oh, I'd like it to be a bit darker there, or, you know, you can just tweak and tweak and tweak till the cows come home, basically, something like this. It's really gonna get it darker in there, because it is on my reference, it's quite darker in that area. I'm going to fill in this part as well. Don't mind me keep turning my beak round. I'm going to pop a little bit of fluff with the walnut brown at the top there. Pull some of it through. Let's get a bit more into that area. Then we're going to go for the ivory. Let's stop fussing with it now, Kirsty. I have to keep telling myself that because I can, honestly, I'm such a serial, like, fluffer, faffer, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, I could sit here for hours just messing with it. Right, let's get the ivory in, at least then I can tell if I need to go back in with any of the darker colours. So let me get this pencil. I won't even fit in my sharpener, this ivory no more. Look how small it is. So ivory, and I'm going to pull up some of the areas in the ears, so sort of burnishing some of those brighter areas. I nearly said brighter ears. And then really getting into this bit here. So we're going to burnish the centre where we've left everything white, and then pull up some of the areas, and you can see that those browns that we've put in are mixing with it. But I'm going to go back over the top of that bit with the walnut brown, or the grey actually. Might go back in with the grey. Pull down under the eyes. And on the nose a little bit here, the centre of the nose. Under the eye. And all the mouth area. So really want to get those walnut browns mixing into this ivory and really creating that softness. And again over here where we've left it all there, we want to merge those colours in. See how it's really mixing really nice. But you will get this coating over here, that's why I'm going to go back in with the walnut brown and put some hair strokes over the top with a walnut brown. Under the mouth as well. A bit on the back. And then even a bit down here if you want to pop a bit throughout there, throughout the body. Then I'm going to go back in with the walnut brown and just go over gently around the eye area. Pull that colour back through the highlight. I hope my big hand's not in the way. Just trying to get this done now before we go over the time that it'll allow me to film for another emergency vehicle. How many has that been now? 3? Sure, it's been 3. Right, let's get over to this little eye. There we go. Now, should we get some highlights in those eyes and nose? Because because I think that's where I want to be with the fur. I think that's as good as we're going to get it for now, in the time we've got allotted. Yeah, I think that's where we want to be. Maybe a little bit more dark, so dark sepia, maybe a little bit on the edge of the ears, if I'm being really fussy. Maybe deepening up the tips of those ears a little bit. Let's really flick those out, make them fluffy. Same on the other side, get a bit more depth in there. And a bit on the nose. Now from the top of the eye, I'm just going to flick out a bit around the top of the eyes. We've not got this harsh line at the top, we're going to sort of flick out. And maybe a bit on the bottom as well. Another emergency vehicle, oh my days. Seriously? It is coming, I can hear it a mile away. You might want to take your headphones out. Earphones. Oh, it might have gone the other way actually. It's gone quiet all of a sudden now. I know it's coming. Oh my days. No, it is coming. That's a bit better. Let's just stick that line in. I can hear them miles away, honestly. There, that's the eyes done a bit better. Let's go back into the nostrils with this, just to make sure we're all nice and dark, deepened up as much as we want to be. And then under the mouth a bit more. Really soften up around the edge of that lip line as well, like we have done around the eyes. So that's what it looks like, and then we're going to put in the whiskers. So really sharp pencil, and it has got some whiskers. Just realised I've not been in frame as well. Do apologise. I'm awful for it. I'm absolutely shocking for it. But I think I'm going to bring a bit of brown ochre into the eyebrows. I've just decided brown ochre 182. I'm really fussy lately. Bring a bit of brown ochre through those eyebrows, because they're not white on my reference. They're kind of, yeah, like this brown ochre colour at the top. Let's get a bit of that in, that's better. That's better. a bit of that. And then we can add a bit coming through the mouth as well. That's a lot better actually. There we go. Stop faffing, Kirsty. Stop faffing. Where am I faffing? I'm a serial faffer. I'm going in with the grey. Warm grey 274 just around the lips. I thought that was another notification from my door then. I was gonna cry. No, don't make me run down the stairs again. Seriously. Thought it was. Dear me. Right, should we get them whiskers in? Should we sharpen this black pencil? Oh my gosh, I think that's as sharp as it goes. Right, so I'm gonna get some whiskers in. Let's do our little dots first, then I know where I'm sort of taking them from. Kind of. This lever turn out horrible or fine. Not sure how I feel about that. What you can do as well, at the base of where you put them, get something like a grey and just buff around the edges. So it'll dull them down and create this sort of colouring that you have around those areas. There we go. Let's get those highlights in. And snow. Snow. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? So I'm firstly going to do the eyes. It's going to have highlight there. And highlight on this side. Bit of a highlight on the inside of the eye, I think. And then we're going to do a bit of one on the nose. We're going to do snow on the nose. Should we do snow on the nose? I think we should. So big blobs, small blobs. Like a big chunk of snow fell on his nose. Oh dear. And then I'm going to pop some on his fur as well. So it looks like he's got snow all in his fur. It's been snowed on. It's been snowed on, guys. Well, there is snowflakes in the background. We're still in frame. Let's put a bit around his little mouth. Is that enough snow yet? Or am I going overkill? Am I going overkill again? Standard. Stop, Christy, stop. 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 Right, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I can't do no more fur on camera. I might have a breakdown. Might have a little breakdown. Let's pull you up and have a look. It's not the best wolf in the world, I have to say. I think if I'd have took my time and done it in my own time, it would have been a little bit better than that. I feel like I messed up his nose a little bit. I feel like doing this harsh line there made it too narrow, maybe. But, yeah. Maybe I could pull that out with a bit of a darker pencil. Pull the line. You know what I mean, don't you? How I've put that harsh line there. It's kind of making the nose appear a bit of the wrong shape, but ignore the snow I've just put in. But if you sort of drag the dark line that I've made this way, we can make it appear wide again, rather than it being straight down, do you know what I mean? And on the other side as well, if you drag that out with the dark sepia. But yeah, that's a bit better. It's a bit better. There we go. That's my take on doing fur on camera anyway. So that's how it's looking. All I've got to do now, I will just have to do the fur around the hood in my own time, because that's all I've got to do to finish this page now. That's it. So if you did enjoy this video, please do hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.